Got him?
Yep.
Danielson. Good one? Oh, you got it. Oh, you got a striper, buddy. Look at this, folks. Look at it. See, nothing's sacred when it comes to throwing a crankbait. Look at this.
Yeah, he's barely hooked too.
You need a net?
No.
You got a
striper.
You need a pliers? Here you go, buddy. Folks, today I'm with a great friend and a great fisherman. He just won a tournament here at Lake Pleasant. We're at Lake Pleasant. And what'd you get, a third, Daniel?
A third, yeah. Third
and he got third place. And part of the Bass Pro Nitro staff with us here in Arizona. Yeah. And we've had a lot of fun competing against him over the years and never had a chance to have him in the boat. Daniel Elias. Daniel, you just caught a striper, buddy. Now, I thought we were supposed to catch largemouth.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It's actually the first one I've caught here in about a month, and he's a pretty skinny one.
Hey, he is a skinny one. Yeah, no kidding. Man, can you believe that?
That's fun to catch anyways.
Tell everybody today what we're throwing. We actually came out here to throw something he's been winning some tournaments on and doing very well. Tell everybody what we're doing here, bud.
This is a Berkeley dredger. I'm throwing the white bass pattern. I think you've got the threadfin shad one on.
They're beautiful baits, man.
Yeah, these are the HD patterns, which came out in the last year. So they got those high definition patterns, but looks really natural. Obviously in Lake Pleasant, we got a bunch of white bass.
Okay. Threadfin
are moving up here, and I think this may be just a ticket in this dirty water to get them caught today.
We'll figure it out. Now tell us what weight you won with the other day. Were you with Doc David when you won?
I was with Doc David, yeah. Right. We had about 20 pounds.
20 pounds on Lake Pleasant, folks. That's awesome. And it sounds like the old days. I remember when I was younger, we used to see 20, 30-pound bags in here, but it hasn't been that way, very often here. Yeah. You did really good to catch that kind of weight. But these baits are a lot of fun to throw. How deep are these going?
This one's dives probably 14, 15 feet. 10-pound test. It's pretty small. The benefit of the dredger is it's got a very small profile, but it gets down deep, and it gets down quick.
All right, and you prefer 10, 12-pound test line?
Yep, I'm throwing it on 10, but 10 or 12 generally for this size. I think Ty and I had won a tournament out here, and I threw a dredger, a smaller one actually, a 10-foot dredger that time, but really good bait.
All right, well, we're gonna see what we can't do, catch some fish. We're gonna let him show us his technique out here at Lake Pleasant. We got the win. We got what we need for win, so we should be good there. Let's catch some fish. We'll let you go down the bank.
Let's do it.
Nice striper, by the way. My turn.
Yeah. White bass?
Did you get one?
White bass. Man, all these little...
Good, and I'm hung up. Oh, I got it. A white bass?
All these little trash fish are moving in.
You got yourself a little white bass? Look at you, Danielson. He gets himself a white bass, folks. While I'm taking the loop out of my line.
Catch everything but a largemouth so far, huh?
Well, the baits really do good. They're catching all kinds of species. Are we going to catch some bass today?
I'm sure hopeful.
There we go.
Get him.
There we go, son. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Now, this is how you catch a largemouth, son. On that Berkeley dredger. All right, come on, son. Oh, my goodness. Oh, he's got the back hook. Let's see. Used to be able to figure eight those little dudes. That's a nice little bass. We'll take him. I'm bringing him in. I ain't taking a chance. Look at her. What do you think?
That dredger at work, huh?
Yeah, I'll take it all day long, my friend. We went right across this point and tossed. Daniel threw on one side, I threw on the other, and I just kind of slow rolled it. I could feel the bait pop in the bottom really good right there. I slowed the bait down so I didn't get hung up, and he smoked it, Nice bass, bud. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
There's a good start. That's a beautiful tournament fish, too, for Lake Pleasant. I mean, it's, there's a lot of guys on the main lake that like to catch fish like that,
Nice one.
That says a lot about this. Now, we talked a little bit about these Berkeley dredgers. Now, the other thing I've noticed that these are really good about is they got the rattle in them.
Yeah.
So good for this muddy water.
Yeah, for the dirty water, for sure.
You know what's funny is we always think of Lake Pleasant being clear, it's dirty in the area you're coming up to fish.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy. All right, well, let's get back on.
All right, let's do it.
Let's catch some. We're pretty much just cranking and whining right now, which you can do a lot with crankbaits. But Daniel, is there any other ways that you've done well with these crankbaits? You know, stop and go retrieves, anything like that, or burning? Or?
Yeah, so occasionally, I mean, here we're lucky. There's a lot of wood in the water. There's a lot of rocks for the bait to deflect. But sometimes if I feel like it comes off and it's not hitting, I don't stop it as much as I'll just give it a quick pop of the reel handle. So I might be moving real fast and I'll give it a quick pop and just a very brief pause.
Okay.
If you're not hitting the bottom. Because if you're hitting a tree or a stick, it'll deflect. And you get that, and a lot of times that's what triggers the strikes. You know, we know that throwing crankbaits. You'll feel it kick off a rock, and you're just waiting for that bite. So if you don't have the rocks or the trees, you can impart that action, you know, with the reel handle or the rod sometimes, you know, just giving it a pump. But usually, you know, if I'm running into rocks, I don't worry about it. But if it comes off and it stops, you know, you can give it a quick pop with your reel handle, and that can trigger some strikes.
And there's a reason why, and people will ask you, why are you throwing lighter line on this if you're catching bigger fish? Because a lot of people get in tune to going, okay, if you know you're catching bigger fish or whatever on these baits, you would think you'd be throwing heavier line. Can you explain to the folks at home why you're using the lighter line?
So the lighter line will allow that bait to wobble harder, give it more roll. When you stop it, it'll stop more instantly rather than having all that drag. The other reason is your bait will get a lot deeper on lighter line.
Gotcha.
So a lot of times you can control the depth with the size of the line you use. I didn't want a really big bait up here because the shad that are around
are little.
They're pretty small.
Yeah.
So that's the benefit of throwing a bait like this. It's a small profile bait, but you could get away with a heavier line. It's just not going to run as deep.
Gotcha.
I think the fish are a little bit deeper, so getting that lighter line will get it down.
And there you have it right there. And realistically, I mean, you're kind of, you know, to get these down there to an optimal depth, sometimes you just have to do the lighter line.
Yep.
It is what it is. I think when they come out on a package and say they'll go X amount of feet deep, it's based on the size line you're throwing. If you're throwing 17-pound test line, and it's not going to go as deep.
And a lot of times those manufacturers will rate those on 10-pound line.
There you go. There you have it.
Hey, there
That's
you
what I'm
go.
talking about, son. Look at that fish. He was right there on the shoreline. Come on up here, buddy. Look at that. You were just talking about how they eat it. Look at that. It's been really tough today for us because we've been up here in this, we've been up in the gale force winds hoping the fish would bite. And Daniel's done good in this area, but you know, I mean, things change, obviously, and today's weather patterns have changed a little bit. So, but we're still paralleling the bank, which is important when you're doing this kind of fishing off of steep walls, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've been trying to parallel the bank, do all the right casting. Now you'll see over here we have shade pockets. So that's very important. When the sun comes up, fish love to ambush. So that gives them a nice little spot to get in there and ambush prey when they come by. And we've always talked about that on the show. So the shade pockets are great. But yeah, so other than that, you know, that's what we've pretty much been doing, and we're throwing the same baits. We've been catching, you know, a few fish here and there, just not getting the grade yet.
Not the quality. Yeah,
not the quality yet. We'll get them. We'll get them.
Eventually.
We might get them up in here. Maybe they moved up.
Run into one or two.
Yeah. As much as I hate to tell you, Daniel, welcome to bringing the camera.
Hey.
Look at the camera, look at the folks at home, tell them it's a true deal.
Yeah.
Anytime I bring the camera, I tell people, I don't care what bite you're on, that camera right there ruins it. I don't know what.
It's not you know, I don't know, can I hold it closer or something?
Well, that's what I do.
It's just
They're
get it
5-pounders
way out
when you
there.
get it up there. I'm telling you, I don't care what bite you're on, man. Something else that I know a lot of people at home are curious about, and I know you can explain this. Oh, let me bring the fish in first, huh? Oh, never mind, I lost him. Can you believe that? He hit it right over top of that. It was just a little one. Anyways, this moon phase thing, when they're biting on the shad versus when they're biting on the crawdad. Tell the folks at home the theory on that.
Well, I mean, there's one easy way I can tell, and it's just from fishing a lot of tournaments and watching how people perform at tournaments in the time of year, but crawdads really like to get out and move around the full moon.
Yep.
So that's when they come out and they're crawling around, and you'll notice in tournaments around that full moon, that's when the jig fishermen generally do really well. So when we get around a full moon, I like to really focus on that crawfish bite. You know, at least 3 or 4 days on either side of it for sure. When we get away from that and you see a moon like that, where we've got a waning moon, it looks like about 50%, but it starts going away, those fish will key more on shad as the crawdads kind of crawl back in their holes. So it's one tip that sometimes if I don't know where to start, you know, I'm on a new lake, I'm like, all right, new moon or not around a full moon, go after that shad pattern.
That's a great tip right there.
Sometimes they say you want to match the forage, right? Match the hatch.
Yep.
If you looked at my crankbait, that's a white bass pattern.
Wow.
Okay, so today,
they did a really good job on that.
we're gonna match the prey.
All right. Oh.
Yep. Get him again.
I got another one. I got another one. I'll take these. Look at there, son. Another one. You know what? I just slowed it down and started pull dragging it. Oh.
Yeah, I can see him behind me on that Panoptix.
He was trying to eat it. Yeah, you could see him down there. Ah. See you, buddy. Sheesh. Talk about fish. Oh, you got one? Hey, we've turned from a largemouth bite to a white bass bite.
You didn't specify what kind of bass
Oh, is that
you
what it
wanted
was?
to catch.
Oh, that's true. I didn't, did I?
You said, take me to the bass.
All right, I did. That's my fault.
I said, we'll go to Lake Pleasant.
Yeah. White bass,
Striped bass.
bass. Folks, I normally do the tip of the week. I'm going to let Daniel here do the tip of the week because he's got a great tip of the week for these crankbaits. Daniel, tell us what you've done to your crankbaits to modify, not really modify the bait, but how you tie to it.
Yeah, it's all about efficiency.
Okay.
And, you know, typically when you get a crankbait, on the line tie, you get a round line tie. And you've got to be really careful when you tie that knot that you're not tying it in the gap, or you're not tying it opposite of the gap where that gets stuck in where it connects, because it'll make your crankbait run off. So what I always do with every hard bait I get that has a round line tie is I go to Bass Pro Shops and I get these XPS, it's a Bass Pro Shops brand, but an XPS oval split ring. And they make them in a bunch of different sizes. They're super cheap, but I always change them out. I do that at home. So when I've got to retie on the water, I can retie so much faster. If it's cold out, I don't have to worry about, you know, my numb hands lining up that knot. So I think
makes it really nice. You don't have to worry about the line getting caught in the groove or sliding out of it or anything like that.
If it's something that's easy to do at home, you know, in your spare time while you're watching a football game, but saves you a ton of time on the water, and it'll actually save you some baits from not letting your knot slip into that gap where you're gonna break off.
That's a great tip of the week, folks. Do that. Change those out. It'll save you a lot of grief, and the bait will actually run truer after that.
For sure.
Great tip of the week. Thank you, Daniel. Oh, there's one. Man, they're stacked in there. You know what? Hey, guess what? Was that a largemouth? Was that?
You get a largemouth.
Oh, son, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we came to a good little area right
all
here.
All running together.
You know, a lot of times you can fire up these fish once you start catching them. It's like spoon fishing. You got him? Oh.
Foul hook.
Look at, you know, hey, Daniel, I mean, you know, this is still fun.
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
no,
we're actually getting bit. Get him? Get him?
That might be a better
Hey,
one.
hey, hey, hey. There you, oh, he's got a good largemouth. Better than what we've been catching today. Hey, there you go, son. Ooh. Get him in here. Okay. Hey. He's not a giant, but he'll do.
He'll do. Look at this. Look at how sharp his teeth are. So that's another really good tip, is a lot of times you catch a fish like this, you want to know what they're eating, you can look at their teeth or feel them. And when their teeth get really sharp, I mean, I could probably have that guy hang from my glove, you know. His teeth are super sharp. He's eating shad, soft fish.
Yes.
When they get dulled down, they're eating crawdads.
Oh yeah.
And it's another way to pattern them. The other thing I do, believe it or not, is I like to caress them in the belly. It's a true story. If it's soft and mushy, if you feel that fish's belly, it's real mushy, he's eating shad. Sometimes you'll feel it, and it feels like rocks, and it's usually crawfish shells, and every once in a while it'll feel like sticks, and it's usually bluegill spines.
That's a good way to do it too, but you can also do this.
Yeah, look.
Yep, he's eating shad. I can smell it.
You smell that?
Smell his breath.
I can't smell after I had COVID.
Oh, get
Sorry,
out of here.
I'm out.
Oh my goodness. Daniel, that was great. Great tip there, man. I appreciate you coming on the show today. Yeah. You know, it was tough grind today. We still caught a lot of little fish and, you know, had fun. And I'll tell you, throwing these baits right here, the Berkeley Dredger, that little bait right there is awesome, smaller profile. They make the bigger lip ones with also as a smaller profile when these shad are smaller and like they're eating today. And if you don't mind what species of fish you catch, it looks like they catch pretty much all of them here at Lake Pleasant. Yeah. I think the only thing we didn't catch was a catfish, and I guarantee at the right time of year, they'd probably eat it too.
I caught one on it last week.
Did you really?
Big one.
All right, yeah. You can catch Daniel Elias right here. He's what is it, the second Tuesday of every month at Bass Pro Shops?
Yep.
Doing the seminars, and they do a great job down there, and learn some good tips and techniques, plus get the updated fishing reports that you guys are out doing. Once in a while I'm able to get down and have a lot of fun with that, but it's been a while. I need to find time to get down there, but I'll tell you, it's been fun. You showed us a lot here on Lake Pleasant. The ticket for us today, and I think for you to win that tournament, well, the water came up, so it kind of blew your bite a little bit, I think. Mm-hmm. But in saying that, we got up in the dingier water.
Yeah.
So that helps a little bit, and we had a little bit of breeze. So getting up in that little dingier water with the rattles in this crankbait, you'll catch a lot of fish. Man, thank you so much. I've always wanted to get you on the show.
Oh, it's been great. Dream come true for me.
I appreciate it. We're going to do it again, and we'll see you next week. From Daniel and I, we'll see you next week on Fishing with Johnny Johnson. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about, folks.